Hi, everybody. I wanted to come on today and give you some fine motor hand activities. These are going to be things that will help your child strengthen and hone in their fine motor development skills. And a lot of these things that I will be using are things that you may already have around your house, and I will give you some ideas of how to use them. So the first thing I have is a turkey baster. If you don't happen to have one of these, I don't think that was much more than a couple of dollars. It doesn't have to be a high end or anything because it's going to get dirty and it's going to be used for things other than turkey basting. So you don't have to worry about getting like the best one or whatever. A hole punch, some cotton balls, and the last thing I'm going to use today is a cookie sheet, a metal cooking sheet. So some of the things that I used to do with my students, we used to have a time in our day called buddy time. And I would have students from the gen ed population join with some of my students from my special education population, and we would get together and do activities. And I had over 70 something activities that I had developed, and it turned out to be this really great inclusion opportunity, and it had so many more benefits than I really anticipated it having when I started the program. But it turned out to be a really, really wonderful opportunity and time for all the kiddos involved. So one of the things that a lot of my students had difficulty with was finger strength and coordination and holding their pencil. And so one of the things that we did was I found some magnets, and it doesn't have to be like these word magnets. It can be anything. And the different sizes, different thicknesses, different ability, magnetic ability, how strong it holds on to something, the better. But then you just put these kinds of things on the cookie sheet, and then you have your child work. So like these are really thin. So, I mean, this is going to take a little bit more coordination and skill. And then they just take them off. I had games, and I did not purchase the games, so I left them behind because the school had purchased them. And they had squares that were magnet, and they were about 1.5 by 1.5 inches wide, and then they were probably about 1/2 inch thick, and so they were really strong. And so it would take several fingers for my students to kind of move them around as well as to pull them off. So it worked on lots of different skills. Another thing, I told you I would share something about the cotton balls, and one of the things that we would do with the cotton balls is I had a couple of those turkey basters that I showed you. So I'm going to put a couple cotton balls on the cookie sheet and take the turkey baster and just move the cotton balls around. And so, like I said, we would have a couple of turkey basters, a couple or maybe more kids, and we would have races to see who could get the cotton ball down to whatever distance the fastest. Or sometimes we would take water. And I didn't grab any of these. In fact, I think I've probably gotten rid of them. But if you have any old syringes from when you've had to maybe give medicine, liquid medicine to your child, those work really great. Have them pull the plunger and pull some water up into the plunger, and then have them squirt the water out. And you can do the same thing with the turkey baster. So you can play lots of different games with the turkey baster, with those syringes from those liquid medicine bottles. Of course, I'm sure you've all figured out, and I thought I had a piece of paper here with me, but of course, just squeezing the hole puncher, even if there's no paper in it, that's a good thing. Or yeah, of course, if you can get paper in it and maybe make a little design. I'd actually had a set that I purchased that was different letters across different pages, or maybe it was numbers. And then there were activities that the students did with those that were punch a hole under certain numbers or certain letters or patterns. And you can develop all of that stuff, and you can probably find a lot of that stuff. And I probably still have some of those things in old files, computer files somewhere, if you're interested in getting any of that sort of information. And then two things that I didn't show you to start with that might might be good for your child and you might have around your house is a staple remover. I realize that teachers probably have more of these available to them than parents probably do. But again, it's just that squeezing motion. But if you can actually get them to remove staples from something, then you're talking about some major fine motor skills and eye-hand coordination skills with that as well. And then the last thing are just these big paper clips. And again, squeezing them. And one of the things that I could not find today, and I guess I've gotten rid of them over the years, is clothespins. If you have clothespins, you can do amazing things. Or tweezers. Tweezers just don't have the same resistance as clothespins. But if you need to start with a tweezer, please start with a tweezer and build the resistance up with your child. But you can pick things up and, you know, like put them in cups or put them in containers. You can pick up paper. You can pick up feathers. You can pick up scarves, cotton balls. You know, see how thick you can pick up something or how thin something has to be in order for you to be able to pick it up. Lots and lots of different activities. I hope to do these segments a little more often now that I have this new setup in my office area and I have more space to move around. So I so hope that you appreciate this. If you want more things like this, please comment and let me know that you would like to see more videos like this where I teach you some of the things that I did as a teacher for fine motor. I don't know if I'll be able to teach you a lot of the things that I did with gross motor because I don't have that much space, but I can maybe talk you through some of the things or at least maybe show you some of the equipment that I used. And I will also be hoping to teach you some different behavior strategies as well. Thanks, everybody.